In a world where hustle and relentless effort often seem to be the keys to success, the story of Miyamoto Musashi, the legendary Japanese swordsman and philosopher, offers a refreshing perspective on the philosophy of effort, mastery, and the balance of life. Musashi's journey was a remarkable one, marked by battles both internal and external, but it was through the art of the sword that he discovered a truth that defied common wisdom. Sometimes, the harder you try, the worse it gets. Miyamoto Musashi was born in 1584 in Harima Province, Japan. His early life was turbulent, marked by continuous battles, both in the realm of martial arts and within himself. From a young age, Musashi was drawn to the way of the sword, dedicating his life to mastering the art of combat. However, his philosophy extended far beyond the battlefield. Musashi was not only a warrior, but also a philosopher, artist, and writer. His seminal work, The Book of Five Rings, is not only a treatise on strategy and martial arts, but a profound reflection on life itself. Musashi's philosophy revolved around the concept of the way, which he referred to as the way of the warrior, the way of the sword, or simply the way. It was a philosophy that applied not only to martial arts but to life itself. For Musashi, the way was about mastering oneself, including thoughts, emotions, and actions. He emphasized the importance of discipline, focus, and continuous self-improvement. Musashi divided his philosophy into 5 elements, each represented by a ring: earth, water, fire, wind, and void. These elements symbolized different aspects of existence, and understanding them was key to mastering the way. Earth represented the physical world and our place in it. Water symbolized adaptability and the importance of flowing with the currents of life. Fire represented combat and conflict, both internal and external. Wind symbolized tradition and the past, while the void represented the unknown, the future, and the infinite possibilities it holds. Musashi believed that by understanding and mastering these elements, one could achieve a state of harmony with the universe and, ultimately, victory over oneself. An essential aspect of Musashi's philosophy was the counterintuitive nature of effort. In a world that often preaches that the harder you try, the better the results, Musashi offered a different perspective. He warned against the perils of overt trying, which he believed led to unnecessary stress and inefficiency. Overexerting oneself, whether in combat, work, or daily life, often resulted in wasted energy and diminished returns. It could lead to a cluttered mind, impaired decision-making, and ultimately failure. Musashi emphasized the importance of relaxed readiness, a state of calm and focused awareness that allowed one to respond effectively to any situation without unnecessary tension or wasted effort. This perspective aligned with the broader principles of Zen Buddhism and the martial arts tradition, which valued efficiency of movement, mental clarity, and a calm, centered mind. It served as a reminder that sometimes less is indeed more, and that the most effective way to approach challenges is with a balanced, measured effort. In The Book of Five Rings, Musashi wrote about the concept of doing nothing unnecessary. This idea encapsulated his philosophy on effort. Every action, every decision, every thought should serve a purpose. Anything superfluous was not only a waste of energy, but could also be a distraction that hindered one's progress. For Musashi, the right effort was about being present, mindful, and fully engaged in the task at hand, whether that was a sword fight, a work project, or a personal goal. It was about being disciplined, staying focused, and not getting sidetracked by irrelevant concerns. It was about finding the most efficient and effective way to achieve one's objectives without unnecessary strain or struggle. Another profound and enigmatic concept in Musashi's philosophy was mu, often translated as nothingness or emptiness. In Western thought, nothingness often carries a negative connotation associated with absence, lack, or void. However, in the context of Musashi's philosophy and Eastern thought, mu represented a state of openness, potential, and receptivity. It was not about negation, but about clearing away clutter, both mentally and physically, to make room for what is essential. Embracing mu meant letting go of preconceived notions, unnecessary desires, and superficial distractions. It meant approaching situations with a clear, unburdened mind, free from bias and attachment. This state of mind allowed one to see things as they truly are, and to respond appropriately without being hindered by extraneous thoughts or emotions. In the context of effort, Mu suggested that trying too hard, holding on too tightly, or being overly attached to a particular outcome could be counterproductive. Instead, one should adopt a more relaxed, flexible, and adaptable approach. This did not mean being passive or indifferent, but rather being fully present and engaged while maintaining a sense of detachment and equanimity. Non-attachment was a fundamental principle in Zen Buddhism and was intricately woven into Musashi's philosophy as well. It was often misunderstood as detachment or indifference, but in reality, it was about being fully present and engaged without being controlled by desires, fears, or expectations. In the realm of effort, non-attachment meant not being overly fixated on the results of one's actions. It meant giving one's best in every moment without being consumed by the desire for success or the fear of failure. Flow, the state of being in perfect sync with the rhythm of life. It's a state where actions are performed effortlessly, and the mind is focused yet relaxed, fully immersed in the present moment. Flow is not unique to combat or swordsmanship. It is a universally attainable state that can be applied to virtually any activity. Whether you're an artist lost in the act of creation or an athlete so immersed in the game that you lose all sense of time, you are experiencing flow. According to Musashi, this is where true mastery lies. In a state of flow, our actions are not forced or overthought. They arise naturally, almost effortlessly. This aligns perfectly with Musashi's philosophy, which advocates for the right kind of effort, a middle path between trying too hard and not trying enough. When you are in flow, you are exerting the right effort because your actions are both spontaneous and precise, uninhibited yet controlled. Flow eliminates the self-imposed barriers that often hinder our performance. In this state, we are free from self-doubt, anxiety, and the constant chatter of our minds. We act without second-guessing, without the debilitating fear of failure. It's as if we are in a dance with the universe, moving in perfect sync with the rhythm of life. But how do we enter this state of flow? Musashi suggests that it comes from the mastery of the self, from disciplining our minds and bodies so thoroughly that they act as one. It comes from understanding the rhythm of the world around us and harmonizing our actions with it. Most crucially, it comes from letting go, from releasing our tight grip on our expectations and fears, to be free to act as the situation demands. Overthinking or analysis paralysis is a trap that many of us fall into. It is the act of thinking too much about a situation to the point that no action is taken. This not only hinders our performance, but can also lead to inaction, a state that Musashi would argue is the antithesis of right effort. Musashi believed that the mind should be clear and uncluttered, free from unnecessary thoughts that could cloud judgment or delay action. In the heat of battle, there is no time for doubt or hesitation. One must act decisively and with purpose. He understood that by emptying the mind of unnecessary thoughts, one could achieve a state of mu or nothingness, where actions are performed effortlessly and without conscious thought. This is the essence of right effort and the key to unlocking our true potential. Musashi's philosophy isn't the only perspective on effort and action. Many Western philosophies, such as Stoicism and existentialism, have unique takes on these topics. Stoicism advises us to focus our efforts only on what is within our control, aligning well with Musashi's idea of the right effort. Existentialists like Jean-Paul Sartre argue for the freedom and necessity of making choices, a sentiment that resonates with Musashi's emphasis on decisiveness and action. However, Eastern philosophies like Taoism have a more direct parallel with Musashi's teachings. They emphasize the importance of balance, harmony, and the flow of life, all of which align with Musashi's philosophy of effort, non-attachment, and flow. So how relevant is all of this in our fast-paced modern world? Exceptionally relevant, as it turns out. We live in an age of hustle culture where we're constantly told to grind and strive for success. But the downside is often burnout, stress, and diminishing returns on our well-being. This is where Musashi's philosophy comes in. It serves as a reminder that trying too hard can be counterproductive. Sometimes what's required is not more effort but more wisdom, knowing when to act and when to refrain, when to push and when to let go. By understanding and applying Musashi's insights, we can navigate the complexities of modern life with a greater sense of balance and poise. His teachings don't just belong to the past. They're a guide to living a more thoughtful and effective life today. In a world where we're constantly urged to push harder and give our all, Musashi's wisdom offers an alternative perspective, emphasizing the value of balanced, purposeful effort and the importance of mastering oneself. It's a philosophy that transcends time, offering insights into how we can navigate the complexities of modern life with greater balance and poise. Musashi's teachings remind us that sometimes the harder you try, the worse it gets, and that true mastery lies in the art of finding the right effort, the balance between striving and letting go. Musashi's philosophy is not only a historical relic, but a timeless guide to living a more thoughtful and effective life in the present day. His teachings encourage us to pause, reflect, and understand that success is not solely about pushing ourselves to the limits, but also about finding the balance between effort and wisdom. It is a philosophy that resonates deeply in a world where the pursuit of success often comes at the cost of well-being. In a society that glorifies the hustle, the philosophy of Musashi calls for a different approach, one that values the wisdom of effort over the blind pursuit of goals. The story of Miyamotomusashi, the legendary swordsman, serves as a reminder that in the quest for greatness, sometimes the harder you try, the worse it gets, and that success is not always about relentless effort but also about understanding the art of balance and mastery. His teachings offer a timeless and valuable perspective on how to approach challenges and achieve success in any area of life.